Epic is one of our favorite words around here, and I can provide a small backstory of how it evolved in the beginning, because since it is the holiday season, one of the reasons I really got into designing my environments is because every time Christmas came, it was always exciting with all the decorations all over the house and everything. And I used to think, well, why don't the rest of the months have some kind of decoration or something going up to feel special, which they kind of do, but then it like dwindles after like Easter. So one of the inspirations I've had in having a theme every year and designing my environments, usually my room, but I have the whole house now, so now it's the whole house. But I just loved that feeling of Christmas. So it doesn't feel like Christmas every month. It has its own flavor each month as we go through the months and go through the years. And so epic is a very good word of describing why I do what I do, because I just like to feel like I'm on top of the world, and I do. So that's a little small history of what I did before, my mind cranking out ideas at such a very young age. So yeah, Christmas, and my parents had me decorating the whole house for Christmas every year. From when I was 12, I started decorating the whole house. I had to make all the paper chains. I had the paper chains going from my room to down the stairs, to the living room, to the kitchen, the hallways. And I had to make all these different signs and everything. And every time it came time to take everything down, I just felt down. I'm like, we need stuff for January. And then, by the time I was 14, I'm like, I'm doing something for January. And so, I every month I start putting things up, and then it just, I wanted to know which year was which, so each year started to need a theme. I mean, I know which year is which, but I like to have something iconic for each year to differentiate year to year where we are. And one thing it's funny, I don't like looking back, but then when I do look back, I love looking at saying, oh, I know what year that is. And a lot of times, it's funny, people will have pictures and they'll want to know what year it is, like from the past. And if I'm in the picture, they'll be like, what year did you look like this? Which year was this theme? And they'll find out which date it is because I'm in the picture. So it's fun like that. Like, it's almost like, when you think about the decades, right? You think about the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and 80s. They all sort of have a theme to them, right? Okay, and in my opinion, like once the 90s came, it kind of became repeats of like the 70s and 80s and all that. So it's like, I don't feel like after the 90s there weren't any defining times or anything defining in the looks. Everything kind of, if you look at 1995, it can look very similar to 2005 and 2015. So with me, I'm gonna know, because I know what theme I was in those years. And I never really was into following trends or anything. I was inspired by trends, and I was inspired by many different styles. Like growing up, it was all about the rock stars. I thought rock stars were awesome. I was 4 years old listening to Led Zeppelin and Yes and Heart. And that was like me growing up, Black Sabbath. And I'm 4 years old listening to Black Sabbath and being like, these guys are cool, I want long hair. I always wanted the long hair. So anyway, it's all the little things that just piece themselves together that brought me to who I am. And there's a little backstory for today. So happy holidays.